Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Thank you for stopping by. It was going so well, this relationship, and then something happened and now something's off. What is going on? That's what you're thinking. It happens a lot, and I wanted to talk about that today. If your fabulous connection is somehow unraveling after a couple months, 3 months typically, then we should talk. Stick around because that's what's on the agenda today. For some reason, this happens 3 months in very often, and I have a whole episode about why that 3 months is applicable and important here, and I will link to it right up here. It's called the 3-month rule, or the 3-month dilemma is the name of the episode. But somehow at the beginning of a relationship, you're on the trajectory towards something that's great, but suddenly he's like pulling back. He's not calling as often, if he was calling at all. Young people, they don't call, so I know that they're here listening. I'm trying to include them as well. But for those of us in our 50s, he's calling less often. He's texting less often. In fact, he's not returning texts at the same speed that he was previously. He used to respond right away, but now 4 hours later, sometimes the next day. What is going on? First of all, I want to tell you, do not lose confidence. You know who you are. You know your value. You know that you are an attentive partner in giving it your best. So why should you take this on personally? If indeed that's the situation, if you've done something horrible, by all means, you got to own it. But if not, this isn't your deal. This isn't your fault. So let yourself off the hook for that, first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say if you appear needy or desperate, this is only going to push somebody further away. So if your intention is to find out what's wrong and fix it, you think there's still a chance here. Begging, desperation, and needing somebody and letting them know is off the table as far as what to do next. And the reason for that is because very likely it's because of their fear, their anxiety in the relationship, and you can't fix that. You can't make them feel better about that. They have to kind of work that out themselves. So what can you do? You can let him know that you care and that you're willing to wait, if you are, for him to figure things out, and that you're not going to be pushing him. You're going to give him some space to figure out his stuff. If he ghosts you, see my episode on ghosting, because that's a blessing in disguise when that happens. But don't push, don't prod. Be a support system for this person to give them the room to figure out their, stuff. And be a supportive standby person who he can't ever come back and say, you pushed me into this, or you made me do that when it didn't feel right. You're going to let this grown-up make his own decisions. Let him know you care about him, you are available to talk, and when he's ready, you are there, but you are letting him make this decision on his own with absolutely no pressure from you. And what happens if he decides that he doesn't want to come back and keep working at this relationship and having it progress to the next stage? I know what you're thinking, but he was my person and it was going so well, but he just told you he's not your person. So like in so many other circumstances, your job is to put this in perspective, put on your rose-colored glasses and take another look and realize that you dodged a bullet with somebody who you could have gone on months and months, spent years with, and then they let you know that they didn't think that they wanted to marry you or move in or whatever future plans you had made in conversation. None of those were actually going to happen. So in fact, this person is now giving you a gift of setting you free to find somebody who will want to be with you. I want to remind you when this happens to don't sit around and listen to sad songs and reminisce about all the good things that you had going on. Instead, if he's taking some time to figure out where he's at, take some time to nurture yourself, make plans, get together with friends and family who maybe you weren't spending quite as much time with because of being in a relationship. Nurture those relationships again. So time for you, time for the other people you care about. Keep busy, fill up your schedule, take on a new project, keep your mind off it, give him the room to figure out whether he wants to be with you. Because if he doesn't, you're moving on to find somebody who appreciates you, how fabulous you are, and all the great gifts you have to offer a partner. I hear you. You're saying, but I think he was my person. But no, not so much. Not if he would do that to you. I hope you found this episode helpful and or interesting, and that if you did, you'll hit the thumbs up button, maybe subscribe while you're down there, and hit that ring bell. Then you're notified every time I upload a new episode. I appreciate you stopping by today for the conversation, and I will look forward to next time. Until then, have a good one.